Picture this: a team of skilled divers, a seemingly infinite abyss, and the promise of uncovering secrets hidden for centuries. The Bushman's Hole, with its crystal clear waters and intricate cave formations, offered an irresistible allure to those seeking the ultimate underwater adventure. Today, we're delving into a gripping and tragic tale that unfolds in the mysterious depths of a cave. Strap in, because we're about to unravel the chilling story of the Bushman's Hole cave diving tragedy. But before we plunge into the abyss, have you ever wondered what lies beneath the surface of the Earth's most enigmatic caves? What secrets do they hold, and what happens when exploration turns into a life-threatening ordeal? Stick around as we uncover the harrowing events that took place in the heart of South Africa. In the northern Cape region of South Africa, the world-renowned Bushman's Hole is found. Officially named the Bosmansgat, the cave is popularly known for having the world's deepest freshwater cave systems. It's a heavenly spot for divers from across the globe. The mesmerizing views, rock formations, and the challenges it poses for divers is what attracts the divers to put their expert skills to the test and explore the Bushman's Hole. To reach the Bushman's Hole, the divers hike down the crater to the middle, reaching a tiny little basin of water which looks like a large puddle. Once the divers cross the puddle, they enter into the cave where the skills of the divers are put against the claustrophobia-inducing cave. Bushman's Hole is one of the largest and deepest freshwater caves in the world, measuring a whopping 393 feet long. The cave at its deepest point is 927 meters and around 328 meters wide. The history of Bushman's Hole dates to 1977, when Mike Rathborn, an amateur cave diver at the time, explored it for the first time. After his successful dive, he reported it to be one of the most dangerous and challenging caves to explore. This is primarily because of the altitude, measuring over 4,900 feet or 1,500 meters. The cave has seen many divers over the years. However, few of them have had the luck of surviving this hole of death. According to these divers, the cave is unbelievable, and walking in the cave through the water feels like they're spacewalking. In 2004, Verna von Schalk, a female diver, was recorded to have the deepest dive record in the Bushman's Hole. Reportedly, she explored the cave's depths at around 725 feet deep. Similarly, in 1993, Eben Laden lost his battle against the cave when he became unconscious at a depth of 197 feet. Although his cave diving buddy rescued him and brought him back, he could not survive the aftermath of his accident and eventually passed away. However, the next couple of stories are what brought the Bushman's Hole into controversy. Several divers have explored the Bushman's Hole, but the story of Dion Dreyer, followed by the tragedy of Dave Shaw, is perhaps the most highlighted cave diving incident that ever occurred in South Africa. What could have happened that made the Bushman's Hole a headline of news all of a sudden? Stay with us as we unravel the mystery here today. 1 year later, after Eben Laden's dive, the dive of Dion Dreyer took place. The 20-year-old was invited for a dive training program led by the Nuno Gomes diving team. He also faced the wrath of the Bushman's Hole and lost his life tragically. Following his death, a couple of divers who passionately indulged in the sport of cave diving went deep in the Bushman's Hole to find his remains. Following these events, a tragic story unfolded in 2004, putting in shock the global diving community. The story begins with a group of highly trained and expert divers, led by an airplane pilot and a seasoned cave diver, Dave Shaw. Dave Shaw had an unmatched passion for exploring the world's wilderness and appreciated natural beauty in a way that many don't. However, his love for nature and cave diving would become the reason for his demise and was something he never could have imagined. In early January of 2005, Dave Shaw, along with his partner who shared the mutual love for diving and exploring the hidden beauty under the earth, Don Shirley, set upon a trip to South Africa with the sole aim of diving into the Bushman's Hole to discover the remains of Dion Dreyer. Little did they know that what was supposed to be an adventurous ride and a mission to discover the body of a fellow diver, Dion Dreyer, who had lost his life during a dive in the Bushman's Hole a decade ago, would turn into a searing tragedy. Dion had only a couple of years of experience as a diver when he was invited to join the South African Cave Diving Association to accompany them in exploring the Bushman's Hole as a support diver. In pursuance of his passion, Dion decided to take up the offer. In December of 1994, the group dove into the cave. At the depth of around 50 meters, the other divers noticed that Dave's light was dimming, as if he was moving away further from the team. Shockingly, they found out that Dave was sinking deep down into the abyss. Before the divers could save him, he had already sunk too far down. With the body of Dion getting further away and eventually becoming invisible, his partner divers assumed that he must have lost consciousness. In cave diving, the partial pressure of oxygen rises to such a level that it becomes toxic to the central nervous system. This is commonly known as oxygen toxicity or oxygen poisoning, and the primary reason is because of the extreme depths that divers reach. Similar to oxygen poisoning, a theory was also contrived that Dave could have been the victim of narcosis. Narcosis effect is one which happens at extreme depths in cave diving. It directly affects the brain, impairing one's ability to think straight, focus, and make decisions. The true mystery behind Dion's death was never solved. Some locals did make various hypotheses, albeit illogical, that a serpent which fed humans could have attacked Dion. But there's no conclusive evidence to this assumption, and commonly, the assumption of oxygen poisoning is believed. 2 weeks after the accident, Dion's father could not accept the fact that his beloved son's lifeless body lay in a water-filled cave, rotting away. In an attempt to find the body of his son, Dion's father tried to get his beloved son's body out of the freezing water by hiring a small submarine operated by the De Beers Mining Company, but only his diving helmet was found. Years passed by, but the popularity of Bushman's Hole increased in the diving community. Yet, no one could gather the courage to explore the dark depths of the cave. Many divers would go in, and after a few meters, they would come right back out. In 1994, no one had gathered the courage to dive into the Bushman's Hole to extract Dion's body, until Dave Shawn and his buddy Don Shirley stepped up to the plate. Dave and Don planned every step of the dive carefully, taking into consideration even the most minute risks, to ensure that the dive would be a success. Using top-notch equipment, state-of-the-art diving gear, and utilizing their professional skills, the two mates dove straight into their exhilarating mission. Yet the unpredictability of cave diving is the one factor that no number of skills, expertise, or equipment can defeat. At its initial stages, the dive was going as smoothly as it could have, with mesmerizing views of the intricate natural rock formations surrounding the fearless divers. They navigated through the challenging routes and passages skillfully. Once the 200-meter depth was crossed, both Dave and Don were now on the lookout for any indication towards the bodily remains of equipment of Dion Dreyer. At around 270 meters, which calculates to a little over 880 feet, Dave's eyes caught something. Dave had accomplished the main goal of his mission as he found the remains of Dion Dreyer within the cave, lying more than 270 meters deep. As he approached the remains with a body bag that they took with him to use for the remains of Dion Dreyer, an unfortunate incident which eventually turned into the tragic demise of Dave took place. There are many different views and reports of divers regarding what happened in the cave, which led to the death of Dave Shaw. However, the true reason is known only by the one who had passed away, Dave Shaw. According to one account, Dave Shaw was ensnared within the thin crevices of the cave, and the struggle of freeing himself from this entrapment began. Reportedly, he had no chance against the cave, since the bodily movements are significantly restricted due to heavy equipment and the water pressure. Although it's commonly understood that cave diving comes with the challenge of facing tight spaces, muddy waters, blocked paths, and other similar situations, one of the most dangerous factors is the limited oxygen supply that cave divers take along. Such was the case with Dave and Don. As Dave's struggle with being stuck in the cave's crevice was ongoing, the oxygen tank was depleting rather swiftly. The tension arose, fear surrounded both the divers as they watched their deaths staring at them directly, but they did not lose their composure. During a significantly long struggle with the cave, Dave had accepted his fate. However, he was a true hero at heart. Don's oxygen supply was nearly finished when Dave shared his remaining oxygen with his friend and encouraged him to leave him alone and save his own life by resurfacing. Given the limited supply, Don had no other choice but to say a heart-wrenching final goodbye to his diving buddy. Alone in the abyss with no oxygen and no chance of rescue, Shaw's life came to a tragic end. Another view of this is that Dave was given the task of getting Dion's body, bagging it, and then bringing it back to the depth of 725 meters, where Don would help him take the body to the surface. Dave had already dived to over 886 feet, and for hours he did not come back. Reportedly, Don kept waiting for Dave to come back, but his certainty only grew larger as he could not see any bubbles in the water where Dave had started his dive. With tension surrounding Don, he made the risky decision of diving down to where Dave was and bringing him back up. However, as he reached the depth of 800 meters, a large blast-like sound was heard. The sound created panic, and the cause for this was found to be Don's air tank regulator. His regulator had burst, and his only chance of survival was to control the air supply manually. In light of these new disastrous circumstances, Don made the heart-wrenching decision of leaving his friend in the depths of this deadly cave and gradually ascending back to the surface. After he reached back to the surface, Don said that Dave could not be found and he couldn't come up anymore. The circumstances did not allow Don to complete his mission of rescuing his friend. As he reported this to the authorities, a new team was gathered with one aim: rescuing Dave Shaw. The new support team gathered every single piece of safety equipment and started the dive swiftly. What they didn't know was that the cave was far more dangerous and challenging than it sounded. As the support team went on, fully motivated, it took them more than 40 hours to find Dave's body and bring it back to the surface. Although Dave's body was found, his soul could not be rescued. Dave had tragically passed away in the depths of the Bushman's Hole. With different views of what actually happened in the cave, one thing is certain: Dave and Don were two heroes who gathered the courage to extract the body of a diver, Dion Dreyer, with whom they weren't even acquainted personally. If the story of how Dave shared his oxygen with his friend Don is true, then this heroic attempt to save his friend's life was a selfless act that served as a testament to the kindness, humanity, love, and respect Dave Shaw embodied as a friend and as a person. His passion for cave diving and his remarkable career as a diver and a nature enthusiast came to its natural end deep in the Bushman's Hole. However, even if the other view is true, it is in no way a shortcoming on Don's part. Don made all the efforts he could to save his friend, but with a burst-up regulator, limited air supply, and little to no visibility at depths of 800 meters, he made one of the riskiest decisions of his life, which could have resulted in Don's death. Following the news of this heartbreaking event, Dave's lifeless body was recovered from the cave. The news of the cave diving hero spread across the diving community globally like wildfire, sparking an interesting conversation and debate about the risks, dangers, and rewards that come with exploring the world's most dangerous caves and underwater scenarios. Although the Bushman's Hole diving incident was indeed an irreparable tragedy, it served as a reminder to the divers and to the diving enthusiasts as to the dangers that cave diving possesses. Despite being equipped with skills and the most advanced technology, cave diving is an inherently risky adventure, and the story of Dave Shaw serves as a testament to this fact till date. Despite these horrifying events, the sport of cave diving is still massively popular, and many people visit such terrifying caves in an attempt to explore what lies hidden beneath the surface of the earth. But is it worth it? The gripping story of the Bushman's Hole cave diving tragedy is one of the most bone-chilling incidents in the dangerous world of cave diving. The exemplary heroism and a tale of exploration that turned into a disease is proof that even the most skilled and seasoned divers are at risk of being entrapped in nature's immense power in the unforgiving depths of deep, dark caves. The tragedy that Dion Dreyer and Dave Shaw went through serves as a reminder that risks and dangers associated with deep water diving, cave exploration, and cave diving are not to be underestimated. As a legacy of Dave and Dion, their stories play the roles of cautionary tales, reminding divers till date that prioritizing safety is of the utmost importance on every single dive. Towards the end, we would like to celebrate the heroic acts of Dave Shaw, who not only saved his friend's life, but also proved to the world that he was a great humanitarian and had massive respect and love for his fellow divers, like Dion Dreyer, a person that he had never met. Let's also acknowledge and honor those who have sacrificed their lives in the pursuit of unraveling the mysterious world that lies beneath the Earth's surface. Which story is more believable? Did Dave save Don's life by sharing his oxygen supply? Or was Don supposed to rescue Dave, in which he failed? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to leave us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to always be updated with the most exciting content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again soon in another video.